And this is why I think once the anus is collapsed, all sexual activity should be halted at least for a few minutes.
I love what you find out in your self-experiments.
Oh my god, we're live. Hello and welcome to another episode of Hopelessly Casual. We are hosts as always. I'm Christian, and with me as always is...
Hi, it's Freya. Hello, you guys. Sorry to hear that. Private conversation, you know how it is.
Yes, but we're no longer editing things down.
We never did.
Right,
We
so...
were always too lazy to do that.
Oh yes, always. You're lucky you get sort of an intro.
We're very sorry.
Right, so today we're talking about Mario, namely Super Mario.
In a bit of a, I would say, time travel situation.
Absolutely.
You could call it that.
Yes, I'd agree. Right, so basically what we did over the course of the afternoon/evening, we worked our way through all the mainline Mario games.
With one or two exceptions, because we didn't have the consoles or the games, but most of them we got down.
Exactly. So basically not all of the games, because that would have been impossible in one afternoon.
All the Mario and Rabbids and Mario Karts and Mario Parties and Mario Tennis and Mario Sonic and the Olympic Games.
We are incredibly on cocaine right now, so we were able to do it.
Afternoon, we meant last week. We haven't slept.
Like, seriously. No. As a matter of fact, I've only slept for an hour in the last 24 hours, but I'm fine. I've got wine.
Explains a lot. Night shift is doing wonders, guys.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So basically what we did is we took every mainline Mario game and played the very first level. Exactly. All the way up, or starting at Super Mario Bros. 1986 on the NES.
Older than both of us, by far. The game.
Say what?
Older than both of us.
Older than both of us, yes. Not by far in my case.
By far in my case.
By far in your case. And we stopped with Super Mario Odyssey. That was the last one we played. This is the most recent that came out. I know
mainline.
Exactly.
Games.
I know what a lot of you are thinking right now. There's the new Super Mario Bros. Games. There is
Mario Wonder, which is also so fun.
Exactly. But we decided to mainly focus on what's usually, as far as I know, considered the main line of games when it comes to Mario. So we're going to go through them chronologically in terms of first levels, and we're going to rate them 1 to 10, I'd say.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
So let's get started. First and foremost, of course, Super Mario Bros. World or level, or what would you call it? World 1, level 1.
Yeah.
Exactly, 1985. I actually misspoke just there a second ago. Not 1986. It was first released in 1985. What did you think of it? Rather iconic, I'd say.
I mean, it's very hard to criticize that game because it's what started it all, no?
True, but in terms of, has it stood the test of time? Is it still playable?
Say so. I think it's very playable. So it's actually quite hard because, of course, with modern games, modern platformers, especially on modern consoles, we are used to the hitboxes, the jumping and everything being way more intricate and way more intuitive, even in a way. Maybe even also designed to help the player a little bit. This isn't. This is just if you're off by half a second in terms of pressing the button, or off by a millimeter standing on a platform, you're not on. You fall. You die.
It's true.
Unforgiving.
It's true also, in a way, when you play later Mario games where he sort of hit his stride, he feels a bit more stiff when it comes to jumping, when it comes to controlling him midair. And, in terms of building up momentum while running, it doesn't feel, to me, quite as intuitive as the other games, even as far as, let's say 2 or 3 games further down the road. But in terms of, the first impression of the level, it's absolutely iconic.
I mean, I feel like the first level from World 1, from the first Mario game, is in some way the first level in the later, especially the Super Mario Bros. Ones, which basically remakes, right? Mm-hmm. New Super Mario Bros. It's just the same. I think in Super Mario Bros. 2, which is the first Mario that I played on the DS Lite, and I played the hell out of that so much, and if I remember correctly, purely based on muscle memory when we did it just now, I think it's the same level. I think it's pretty much copied down to a T, maybe with an exemption of like a coin block that's different or something, but even that, not necessarily. it's the same. It's incredible.
I mean, if we're talking aesthetics, you know, like even if you've never played the game, you're probably familiar with what it looks like.
You recognize that one, yeah.
In more recent Mario games, you know, the 8-bit era is, what would you call it, related to heavily, you know, like in Odyssey, you can turn temporarily into the 8-bit character. You look at so many things, the castles, the blocks, the look of 8-bit Mario in his red overalls. His overalls are not yet blue.
No.
Little details that in order to, you know, like save memory on the cartridge.
He doesn't really have eyes. You just have the nose and the cap.
True.
And in between is like squinted a bit.
Yeah, true. And in order like to save memory, the clouds are the same as the bushes.
Yeah.
Just, you know, like with a color swap. Which is interesting because I would have never figured that out until someone pointed that out to me.
Right, same. You pointed it out to me when we played, and it's like, oh yeah.
But something about it. I mean, like, yeah. Once you, if you're familiar with later Mario games, of course, you're used to Mario handling a bit differently. But still, something that's very important to say. You know, even if you pick it up today, first of all, it plays very intuitively.
It does.
You've got. Next to the D-pad, you've only got 2 buttons of note, B and A. You know, B runs, A jumps.
You've no instructions as to how to play the game. You've no tutorial, and you don't need one.
But you know, like exactly, it's great game design. And when it comes to, you know, like something like a platformer, for any game, you know, like to rudimentary be great. The base mechanics have to be fun in and of itself, and it achieves that. It's fun to run, it's fun to jump, it's fun to jump on enemies, it's fun to jump, you know, like into blocks and everything, and you know, to traverse the course. Yeah. Because first level we played a bit further than that. We played down to I think second or third level.
Well, you skipped entire worlds.
Well, you know, everybody does once they get to World 1, 2, but the whole thing, you know, like It's so ingrained in my memory. It's just something, you know, like I played, the very first Mario that I played was a Super Mario World when I was little. But, you know, like I got later to sort of, I had a chance to play older installments in the series. And for whatever reason, I think because the neighbors, they still had an NES and they had Super Mario Bros. And we played it so much, especially, you know, like because, you know, you don't, in that game, you don't even have a save function. So you start over and over and over again at World 1. Yeah. So you know it by heart eventually. And you just run through it. Yeah. You could probably do it, you know, like just by the feel of the controller. Because, you know, now I have to jump, now I have to do this. You probably don't even have to look at the screen anymore.
Yeah, probably. I'm very curious to see, or would be very curious to see if there's like... speedruns, probably. There's probably world records for this, and they must be insane.
There's loads of speedruns. I mean, like, I remember when one afternoon, me and my former flatmate, we sat down to, you know, beat Super Mario Bros. Again, and we thought, how hard can it be? It's, you know, fairly old. I mean, the NES era is notorious for very, very difficult games, be they fairly so or not. But I feel Mario is a very fair challenge. Yeah. But make no mistake, it gets hard. Challenging later on. Absolutely. I think in that sitting, we never quite finished the game.
I found it already not easy. If you're not used to it, if you're not used to these kinds of controls, if you're not used to those hitboxes, not used to that scaling in a way and everything.
It's true. I think, for you, it was like... to play this version, probably the very first time, the very original version, vanilla, on the NES actual console. Yeah. For me, you can immediately probably tell the difference when looking at our way of playing, because for me it was mostly muscle memory.
For sure.
I just basically breezed through it. That's not to say I'm so great at it. It's just like you remember. Your body remembers, and you just go through it. And
that happened to me in the later ones.
It did.
Where it was a bit different for you. That's funny.
And it doesn't take away from the fun, because part of the fun is just to breeze through those levels and to just feel like I've got a flow going.
I've got this.
I've got a flow going, and it's just going to carry me through the stage. But in terms of, Super Mario Bros. World 1, how would you rate it?
Honestly, I mean, I don't want to start off with giving a perfect score, because I feel like that's upscaling in a weird way, but I really find it, I guess I would go for an 8, Because I think maybe the 8 out of 10, because the only points that I could deduct from it is just purely based on the age and like how you said it's a little bit stiff in the jumping and like trying to control Mario whilst in the air, simply because the game design wasn't focusing on that or wasn't quite there yet, and that is really me being hard pressed finding something to criticize in the first place, because it's iconic.
It really is. For me, it's also, like the replayability of it. Because we have, not too far from here, a burger place that when you wait, they have an original NES hooked up to a telly where you can just play Super Mario Bros. While you wait. And, I'm always happy when I have a chance to play that particular level.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's not... Again, for me, it's also not a perfect score, but I'd say it's a 9 out of 10 for me. Just, like, not just in the context of its time, absolutely that plays into it, because, like, if a game came out like this today, like, just as it is, we'd probably not give it that much recognition as we do with all the history that connects it, like, to gaming as it is today and what it has done for gaming. So, for me, it's a 9 out of 10. Absolutely fantastic. Whenever I hook up the NES, I feel like, okay, whatever I'm planning on playing, I'm going to have a round or two of Super Mario Bros. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Second one. Super Mario Bros. 2.
Oh my god.
1986.
So different. I mean, I was baffled, because when I think of Mario Level 1, World 1, I'm thinking of Mushroom Kingdom, bit foresty background. I think of meadow. I think of the first Goomba walking towards me. I think of the first question mark blocks that I jump against. None of that. You start off on top of a hill consisting of several individual platforms that just go straight up, and you have to jump down. You see nothing. Yeah, you just go down.
It's set in front of a black backdrop. It's a leap of faith right away.
It's crazy.
And then you have to go into a door.
And there's no Goombas. It's just Shy Guys.
Shy Guys. There's these little birdie thingies. I think they're jumping around.
And I don't think they've been in any other game. I think they were mainly, in terms of like Mario games, retained to that one.
True. I think it's the first time also we get a bit of a story before the game actually starts.
True, something like Mario had a dream and there was a different world. And
precisely.
He saw this and it's like, what is happening?
And before you get started, first of all, of course, you're baffled. Well, baffled in terms of only ever played the first part, because the first part really didn't bother with the story all that much. You figured out by playing the first Super Mario Bros. That you're looking for a princess once you defeated Bowser. Yes. Or, like the first iteration
and I mean, nowadays
Bowser.
You don't question it because it's Mario.
If you're looking for a deep plot in a Mario game, you're probably going to be disappointed and should ask yourself where it's been the last 20 years.
The later games, though, I will admit.
True, they establish a bit of lore.
We'll get there.
Yeah, exactly. But, the next thing, once you get the title card out of the way, is you get to choose a character.
That's right. You get to choose a character. And that was also interesting because you have Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Peach, probably.
Yeah, Princess Peach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is the first time where we're introduced to their, what would you call it, special abilities. Mario is the all-rounder. Like, if you know how...
Yes, he would be.
Exactly. Luigi can jump higher.
Makes sense.
Toad is the fastest runner, I believe.
Find that weird, but sure.
And Peach, with her dress, can float for a short while.
Bit of a stretch, but I see it.
No, yeah, fair enough. And they're all fun to play in their own right.
Yeah. And oh my god, am I getting them mixed up? Isn't this the one where you throw things?
Yes, that's the one where you throw things.
And I found that a very interesting but weird mechanic, because when you jump on a Shy Guy, you don't squash him like you squash the Goombas, but you have to press B, or what would be on a controller later then? Is it B?
It's B. It's B. Yeah.
Because I'm just confused with only A and B as button options.
Well, it is the NES.
And then you lift them above your head and then you throw them to potentially also knock out other enemies. But that was so strange to me and so baffling because I'm so used to jump on head, squish, go away. And now it was jump on head, pick up, throw.
Exactly. You could either do that, or you could take the beats out of the ground.
You just weed the level as you play it.
Exactly, and whatever you can grab and lift over your head is a projectile.
And as someone who has played, again, a lot of New Super Mario Bros., my muscle memory that kicks in immediately when I play any sort of Mario platformer is to always press B to continuously sprint, and then use basically the second part of my thumb to press A to jump.
Mm-hmm.
And now in this game, that meant that I was constantly picking things up, even when I didn't mean to, because I would just out of reflex try to run through the level, and then there would be a beat in my way, and then Mario would just pick it up. Just like, no, stop, run, don't weed the garden. But yeah, it was completely different, and I was very surprised, because I didn't expect the second Mario game that came out so briefly after the first one to be completely different in concept.
Well, hold on to that thought. Because, first of all, I mean, the second installment, it introduces so many things that are so iconic to the world of Mario these days.
Right.
Shy Guys.
Yes.
You've got Birdo. Birdo appeared in a lot of things, be that Mario Kart, be that Mario Strikers, be that Super Mario Tennis, whatever. The mechanic of picking things up in and of itself didn't return as such.
No, you can pick up shells and throw shells.
Well, yeah, but you never lifted them over your head again.
No. You just hold them and toss them.
In terms of the first level, how did you like the progression through the level? Because it's fairly long.
It is fairly long.
You fight sort of a boss in Birdo before you can go through a bird door.
It's crazy that you have a boss in level 1, World 1. That's insane to me. Bit stressful, that, not gonna lie. I didn't even make it that far. But I like the difference in level, quite literally. Because you start off high on the mountain, you jump down, you are down a while, and then you climb up again.
Yeah.
You use vines to climb on already. I think this is also new in this one. This was new in this one, sort of.
Yeah. I think it is.
And then you jump the mountain that you had to jump down at the beginning. You have to climb up again. And then
is that the same mountain?
At least it's
you climb up
mountain.
again.
At least it's a full circle.
It goes
moment
up.
Of like, I jump down, now I climb up. And then you have a bloody boss at the top. And I'm like, huh? It felt a bit like they were gonna establish an entire game in the first level.
True, and with Birdo being sort of a boss at the end of it, they're just making sure, because Birdo keeps shooting eggs at you from its, shall we call it a trunk?
Beak.
From its beak?
Is it a beak?
Well, I think it's closer to a trunk.
It's a bird.
From its nose, whatever.
From its mouth.
From a hole in its face. And it's just to make sure that you've mastered the mechanic of picking things up and throwing them back at things.
You sure you got this? Let's see if you got this.
And then you exit the level through a
bird portal.
Yeah, basically it's a bird head, and you pick up the orb.
It looked like a gargoyle from the side, like a bird gargoyle, and then the beak opens up to the very bottom and you walk through.
Exactly.
It just goes, ah.
And none of it was in any way resembling Super Mario Bros. 1.
Not in the slightest.
Let me tell you why.
Go ahead, please.
This isn't a Mario game.
That makes sense.
It does. Because, and I know there's a lot of, whoever's listening to this was probably screaming at their phone or, whatever you're listening on right now for the last 10 minutes. Because there was a Mario 2 developed.
Right.
That the West didn't get for quite some time. Because the developers thought it too difficult for Western audiences.
Excuse me, patronizing Japanese people.
What we got...
They're probably right, though.
...was a palette swap of a game previously developed called Doki Doki Panic. With different characters. This is why, for example, at the very end of the game, you don't fight Bowser. You fight something resembling more of a Toad.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Toad as in the animal, or Toad as in Toads?
Toad as in the animal.
Okay.
I think it's also a royal toad. I think it has a cloak and a crown even.
Okay.
And I never got that far into Mario 2 to be really invested in that. But it's a palette swap, basically. You can still find the original game. And then later, the West actually got the original Mario 2 released as the Lost Levels.
Oh.
This is why I was trying to put in the cartridge of on the Super Nintendo Super Mario All-Stars, because it's on there. And my cartridge wouldn't work, and I tried my darndest.
That was one of the very few that didn't work.
Exactly. So we never got to play the Lost Levels, because I would have liked to have it revealed to you then.
Yes, of course.
But
because actually, for context, we didn't play this on an emulator. We got all the original consoles out and played them all on the original consoles because we're nerds.
But with this Super Mario Bros. 2 that you played, or that we played tonight, this is the experience that most people got.
Right.
And in a way,
I didn't hate it though.
No, not at all. And it's also very iconic, as we already established, with a lot of the characters to the Mario, what would you call it, universe.
I find it very hard to properly aim the throw. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I found it very hard.
You'll get used to it, but yeah.
Because that is a bit frustrating initially when you realize that's the base mechanic of the entire game. And that is the thing you struggle with the most, but just aiming it correctly, understanding the angle and the curve in which things flow.
I failed to hit Birdo so many times.
Yeah.
But overall, when it comes to the level itself, how would you rate it?
Honestly, I think this would get a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because, like I said, it's like the base mechanic I struggled with, but on the other hand, I felt the jumping was a bit easier. It was a bit better in terms of being precise. Sure, precision is the word I was looking for. I got there eventually. And it's funny because the Mario sprite felt very, very nostalgic to me in this one. And I don't know why, but it made me feel like I was 4. And I tried I racked my brain ever since to figure out where I had seen this particular sprite so often that I had such a wave of nostalgia wash over me when I saw it, because I didn't have the same feeling with the sprite from the first Mario, even though that is the one a lot of people know. But the second one with the bit of like pouty cheeks, round nose, big eyes in this case that actually stood out. Bit of a squished together face, but like with big anime eyes, sorta. Yeah, I saw it and immediately it was like I was basically smelling something or tasting something, and I couldn't really place it, but it triggered a certain feeling of I know this.
Mm-hmm.
And that was funny. That was very interesting. I still haven't figured out why that was. But yeah, it was so different that it didn't feel like a Mario. I think the only reason it counts as a Mario is that you play Mario. But if you just take the base game, I thought this feels like I didn't know what you told me before, but as we played it already thought this feels like a different game where you put in Mario.
True, but also I feel, because I played Mario 2, the first time I played it was I don't know, not too long ago. Mm. And because, things like Shy Guys or Birdo, or certain things, or, the ninjas that you've got there.
I've never seen them before.
Well, they appear in other Mario games, like Super Mario World as well.
Oh.
And the interesting bit about this is, because they're all so well established in the Mario canon, even though it didn't feel like, like the first installment, I was more willing to accept it as a Mario game before I knew what I know now. Because, oh yeah, that's a Shy Guy, and I know what this is, and I know this, and this is...
Yeah, the Shy Guys, of course, yeah. But still, that's why 7 out of 10, because it feels like a non-adjacent Mario game where you put in Mario, now it's a Mario game. And it was still fun, but it was also something that I would need to play more to get the handle of it more.
Well, and this is just the point for me. For me, it's a 6 out of 10.
Right.
Because even though I find some of the mechanics interesting, we played a bit into level 2, not too far, but that's just it. I don't feel like seeing more of it.
Fair. It's not like you would now look up a Let's Play and see people who actually know and play it.
Not really. Or, like, I wouldn't sit down and just, like, say, okay, I'm going to beat this game, or I'm going to see how far I can make it in.
Yeah.
But replaying the first level again was like, yeah, I can see why this was still well liked. People at the time even said, okay, this is vastly different from the previous installment. But, like, sequels, they try out new things.
Yeah.
Little did they know this was a completely different game
originally.
Still, though, fun. But yeah, for me, 6 out of 10. For you, 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Third one. I loved it.
Super iconic Super Mario Bros. 3.
I loved it.
It's I do remember, even when the Super Nintendo was already out, of course, the last gen was still being sold.
Of course.
And Super Mario Bros. 3 was still a system seller. This was one of those things you'd find at any demo station you could play in a store.
Yeah.
It was so iconic that I think just before it was released, there was a movie made called The Wizard. Mm-hmm. It stars young Fred Savage, who you might remember later from the sitcom The Wonder Years, and young Christian Slater.
Okay.
Right?
Fair.
I mean, you don't hear that much from Christian Slater anymore, but basically this is about 3 kids trying to get to California to compete in a Nintendo competition.
Oh, wow, okay.
This is not just product placement, it was a co-production from what I remember.
Right, fair.
And
Sounds like it.
I think in that film, we get a first glance, or, like, the audience in and of itself got a first glance at Super Mario Bros. 3. Which is an incredible length to go to
just to
make a promotion.
Yeah, fully.
The film, if I remember correctly, is okay. It's fun as a kid because if you're into video games, you're like, oh my god,
I know this, and that. Yeah.
And it's blatant as fuck.
Cool.
It really is. But I think as far as product placement goes, or, like, writing something that's mostly aimed, like, to sell things, it's fairly harmless compared to, like, what we know today.
Yeah.
But, Super Mario Bros. 3, what stands out immediately, we're back to the old formula. Mm-hmm. No more picking things up, except for Koopa shells, of course.
And I enjoyed it so much. I was like, oh, yes, Mario, how it should be. Very good. It was great. I love the whole setting of it being a play.
A theater
somewhat.
Play,
yeah, a theater play, because it like, the title screen is a very, very clearly a stage. You have a curtain, you have backdrops from the props, so, like, the mountains or the bushes or something would have cast a shadow against a wall, so it was props, two-dimensional props on a stage.
And at the end of the stage, you exit the stage, actually.
I love it.
You walk off into the wings, and it also introduces us to the Tanuki suit.
Yes.
Which is iconic
today. Which I didn't know. I thought there was a way more recent addition to the franchise.
Absolutely not.
That's one of the nearly OGs. It's incredible.
Exactly, because, like, for me, I played... The chance that I really got to play Super Mario Bros. 3 was way after I played intensely Super Mario World. So I was used to the cape for flying. Like, you could stay in the air if you were really good with it, basically indefinitely.
Yeah.
You could glide through the air. You could do that with the Tanuki suit as well, in terms of, like, you'd go up and then you could control your descent to a certain degree. So for me, this was something new, but it has become so iconic. There's even been controversy about it when PETA basically said, okay, Mario is promoting wearing fur.
Okay, calm down.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, in terms of the cultural significance of Mario.
I suppose, but I never thought he skinned an actual, like, what is it? Is it like a raccoon? Yeah. I didn't think he skinned an actual raccoon alive and put on the fur.
I think a tanuki, isn't that even a red panda or something?
Is it a red panda? Let me figure it out.
We can
I
look it up.
always thought it was a raccoon, but let's figure this out. I should know this because tanuki is actually, I think you're right. Fuck. It's a Japanese raccoon dog.
May I see?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I only know this.
I was thinking of the red panda.
I only know this because in One Piece there's the little reindeer Chopper, and he has a very cutesy chibi form, and quite often he's mistaken for a tanuki. And in the translation, either German or English, it's always translated as a raccoon.
Okay.
So that's what I just assumed, really. But to be fair, Japanese raccoon dogs, they don't look like American raccoons. They look incredibly differently. I think tanuki may just be its own animal.
Well, and then, Super Mario Bros. 3 also introduces us to an overworld.
Yes, and I was so happy to see the overworld. So used to it. You're just like, oh, there's my map. Oh, that's where I can select the level. Thank you.
And you've got,
I loved it.
You've got little things that make it feel alive. Cacti dancing a little bit. Those sprites.
Alive world, very alive and vibrant world.
You've got random encounters. Those little sprites that walk over certain levels. They move around. That means you might have a random encounter with Hammer Bros, for example.
Yeah.
You've got the.
That's also in New Super Mario Bros. 2.
Exactly. You've got the Toad houses, where you can get freebies.
All of it. That is why I felt so nostalgic, because I feel like Super Mario Bros. 3 is basically what New Super Mario Bros. Then was in a remake. That's why I was like, oh, I'm at home. Very good.
Precisely. You pick it up, you know exactly, if you played Mario Bros. 1 and you returned on the third installment because the second you just didn't care for, you didn't have a chance to play it, you'd feel right at home.
Easy.
The controls are improved massively, I'd say.
Mario
has proper momentum.
Yeah.
The jumping is vastly improved. It already was in the second one, but we're talking entirely different mechanics.
Even though you made fun of me relentlessly, I at least managed to finish the level.
That you did. And I mean, also a very iconic first level. It also brings in a lot of things like Bowser's airship. We didn't get to see that, but we all know it. If you played through Mario over the years, the airship appears again and again and again, and you conquer it again and again and again. And it's overall, it's basically, if you have an NES still from back in the day, chances are you have this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's still, if you buy it at the CEX in Britain, for example, it doesn't go for very much. Normally you pay a tenner because, it is so readily available because it's sold so well back in the day. So of course it's not hard to get by, but still, just because it's around a tenner doesn't mean it isn't basically what it does.
Such a worthy investment.
Absolutely, it's basically perfection at what it does.
Yeah, it's great.
So when it comes to this, if I may, I'll give my rating first. This, for me, even for the first level, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I struggle with finding something to criticize.
Exactly, in terms of mechanics, in terms of the presentation, I have a soft spot for inventive scenarios and this whole theater get-up.
It felt so lovely. It's so it feels like the developers poured in so much attention and love to detail into this, and it's just funny that they do this as a bit. So I think I'll be with you. I think this is a 9.5 or even 10 out of 10 for me. This is a great game.
Fair enough. Next up, we're switching consoles. The next console generation rolls around with its pack-in title Super Mario World. This was my first, let's say, deep dive introduction to the Mario franchise, because before that I only ever played at demo stations in the shops, mostly 1 or 2 tries at Super Mario Bros. 3. Then you had to give up the console to the next kid behind you, and then basically I remember, I think it was Christmas '93, it must have been around, that my mum bought the Super Nintendo, and I'll never forget it because we hooked it up, or she did. I was 5-ish, and put it in, played through the first level, handed the controller to me, and it's just that. This is, for me, what makes all the games up to this point so great. You just figure them out. Yeah. And again, for me, this was my very first experience where I got to play Mario at length, where I'm just like, okay, the jumping's fun, the running's fun. They introduce Yoshi, and
yay!
And
that was quite good. my that was quite good, actually.
If I may say so myself.
I was surprised there with myself.
But yeah, and did you play it before?
I see. The thing is, right? I remember I had again, like I said, I had New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the Nintendo DS Lite, so I played that when I was, oh my god, I think I got my DS Lite for my 10th birthday, which was 2007. Super Mario was not my first game for it, but it was up there. So I want to say I played it in like 2011.
So basically,
maybe.
the Super Mario World port that came onto the
DS.
DS.
Yes, but I just had a memory pop up, and I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if I'm Mandela affecting myself here, but I seem to remember a browser game version on the PC for Super Mario that I would play in primary school and with my dad. Because in primary school, we actually had, during the breaks, my primary school was wild. Tiny. We were 44 children at the school, not in class, at the school. We had 2 teachers, 2 classrooms. One teacher was doing year 1 and 2, one teacher was doing year 3 and 4. But we had about 10 PCs or 15 just stacked up in a room. Basically 2 people at once could be at a PC, and everybody had access to a PC. And we were allowed to use them during break time if we asked. So we would play games. And some of it was your classic browser, like Barbie dress up or, Club Penguin, stuff like that. But I seem to remember that there was Mario involved.
But
now,
let me just say this. Most likely, it's going to be a fan project or something. Maybe a ROM hack. But the thing is,
'cause I remember
Nintendo never officially did any sort of
PC,
browser
no.
games. No. They did PC games.
Yeah.
Like Mario Teaches Typing, or
No, but it was like classic platformer Mario.
No. And
because,
this most definitely is not an official game.
Yeah,
it might lend heavily from Super Mario World. It might have.
It might have, because I just remember, oh my god, I think space was jump, and I think the arrows actually were run, and maybe shift was fire flower, and I think that was about it. And again, I'm not sure if I'm Mandela affecting myself here completely, but I think I remember the level starting, there'd be 2 question mark blocks before you get the normal blocks, and then the first Goomba coming around the corner, basically. So very similar to level 1, but not quite the same. And I think I'm going a bit mad here trying to figure out if this is real or not. But I think that was actually my first contact with Mario, because that then would have happened at age 7-ish, 6 or 7. And that would also make sense then why my parents would have gotten me a Mario game for the DS later, because I didn't pick my games initially. My parents just gifted me games that they thought I would enjoy, and that way I got Mario.
But the thing is, in terms of Super Mario World, have you played that before?
I don't think I did. That again, if anything, maybe a clone of it on the browser, tops.
Well,
because I remember Bowser and the little ship, the little clown ship. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, acids normally were taken for this, but it was very rare, almost, I think, because I played those browser games as well, almost impossible to get a perfect copy of the existing game for various reasons, I suppose. But, like in terms of... Right, so Super Mario World, the first level's called Yoshi's Island 1.
Yeah.
Later on, basically coined as Yoshi's Island Super Mario World 2. We didn't play that, but you might remember that also from the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Very distinct art style,
absolutely.
Got Yoshi as the main protagonist carrying around.
I had the new Yoshi games for the DS as well.
So do I. But it's I think the later when you hear Yoshi's Island today, you associate something else rather than the opening level.
Either Mario Kart track or the own games.
Exactly. You don't necessarily associate the first island in Super Mario World. But how do you like the first level?
I thought it was very fun. That was also the one where I suddenly could sing along. Without remembering why, the soundtrack was playing, and it was not the classic Super Mario soundtrack, it was a different one. But I just immediately, subconsciously, basically, I didn't really mean to, started to whistle along. And I was like, why am I hitting these notes? Why do I know where this is going? I don't know, but my brain knows. I thought it was very charming. Very, full of character, that one as well, like full of personality, that game. I felt like the controls improved again.
Absolutely did.
Smoother and more momentum.
It's very interesting to see because it's a pack-in title. It's one of the launch games for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Meaning, of course, it wants to show off what a 16-bit console could do.
Yeah.
And Mario looks amazing. The interesting thing, though, is when you play as Luigi, it's just a palette swap.
Right.
Luigi's green. He's no longer, the slim brother.
Yeah.
They basically look the same.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Fair enough. They may do that.
It's okay.
It's charming in terms of colors, in terms of ideas, in terms of backdrops, in terms of enemy design. Like you get those little dragons in the beginning of the very first stage.
You do get those little dragons.
You get Koopas with and without shells. You get those
the
massive bullet bills. You get the charging
bitch, as I like to call them.
You get the charging chucks and whatnot. Because we played a few more levels after this.
Yeah.
But overall, the first level, it introduces you to the fire flower again. You've got the mushroom, of course.
You've got the first fire-spitting piranha plants, I think.
No. That
in
happened in 3.
Yeah. Also
exactly.
Iconic.
And
another bonus point for 3.
And you're introduced in a later level, like the second. It was for me always the first one I played, Yoshi's Island 2, the level. Where you get introduced to Yoshi, which is, of course, one of the greatest additions in any Mario game, if you ask me. And, it's a good-looking game to this very to this very day. Interesting to see, though, as good as it looks, it's always clear to see this is a game that came out at the beginning of the life cycle of the console, because it's incredible, and that goes for every console. When you get towards the end of it, the developers know what they can do with the hardware.
Yeah, and then they can stack it up a bit because they understand and can gauge properly what the hardware can do.
But for me, I never play, and I think Super Mario World has around, I think, 64 levels, which
insane.
Is massive. And I finished the game. I defeated Bowser, but I never saw all the levels. It never happened because there's shortcuts.
Yeah.
And I did so unknowingly. I was like 7 or 8 at the time, and I was like, okay, I can go through here. All of a sudden, Bowser's castle in front of it. Like, okay, let's go in there. Yeah. Oh, there he is. Okay, let's fuck him up.
Yeah.
And then, to this very day, it's I try sometimes when I hook up the Super Nintendo. I try sometimes to, find different exits in levels, because there's levels depending on the color of the icon when you enter it that have multiple exits. But, these days I just don't have the time to, rummage around in all those levels to find all the hidden exits. I could look up the walkthrough.
But
I really could.
But it would be fun.
But the thing is, to this very day, and I'll say this, Super Mario World is still my favorite game, and I played a lot of them on the Super Nintendo. It really is. And when it comes to the first level as a first impression to the next generation console we were playing on, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely bullseye. I think they nailed it. I think this is a game that is a selling point for an entire console. Like, this is nowadays GTA 5 for PS4 level. Like, you buy it so that you can play the game. So, yeah, I'd say 10. I do not have, with this one, I really don't have, I think it plays smoothly. I think it's fun. I think it looks good. It's a new score that is just as memorable as the original one. Yeah, great. Home run.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I already gave out a perfect 10 last game, but this is Super Mario World. And, in terms, up until this point, we mentioned the music a few times now. Yeah. It's incredible. First game, of course, you've got the iconic intro. No. I'm talking.
Oh.
The thing is, though, third game, also iconic. Super Mario World. I can hum along. I'll think about it during the day. Fine. Super Mario Bros. 2, and I know if we count this as a real Mario game, we do, because it's a Mario game. It's what we were introduced to as Mario 2.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
At all. Not at all. Same.
That's not to say the music's bad.
No.
But I had
not
very
as
little
iconic.
contact with Mario Bros. 2. And just, if you play something, long enough, or, time and time again, of course, things will stick with you. But with most Mario scores, it's so easy to remember them because they're... Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Fully.
But yeah, that was Super Mario World. We're moving on
Moving on.
Hang on.
I think I know.
Oh, yeah. Right, we're switching console generations again. We're moving to the 3D era.
Yeah.
Super Mario 64 Bob-omb's Battlefield.
Yes. So, Super Mario 64 is the first one, chronologically speaking, that we played that I knew. Because I had Super Mario 64 for the DS. Let me tell you, this game, I think, traumatizes a bit too far. But my spatial awareness in real life isn't the best. Just ask all the bruises on my legs from walking into furniture. My spatial awareness / gauging of 3D spaces on a not perfectly optimized console is subpar at best. So, Super Mario 64 was the first game that I was ever playing that had a somewhat freely rotatable camera, and that was not a side-to-side slider, but a 3D game, sort of, where you had to use both your hands to navigate, because left stick run, right stick adjust camera angle, somewhat. Not as freely as we are used to it now, but comparably.
Well, to be perfectly frank now with the listeners,
Yeah.
I do have a Nintendo 64, but I don't at the moment have Super Mario 64 for it. So we played the port for the Wii U, meaning instead of the classic C buttons, which are located on the right-hand side of the original Nintendo 64 controller, we played on the Wii U gamepad, which meant that the camera controls weren't freely rotatable, but worked the same way as they would on the C buttons. On the N64, that means you could move it in intervals.
Again, I played it on the DS because there was also two joystick
Oh,
left and
true,
right. So,
true,
you know.
absolutely true.
Yeah, but I never got anywhere in this game really, because I struggled so hard engaging spaces, understanding the depth. My field of vision was always incredibly impaired, and I would never be able to jump straight on enemies. But even worse, so when I was a kid, I was so paranoid the entire time, realizing that I couldn't see behind me, that I continuously thought something was gonna sneak up on me from behind and just trigger me and attack me from behind. So I had the most stressful time with this game in level, and even worse, so funnily enough, in the castle. So the game doesn't have your classic overview of the map, but you are in Peach's castle, and you jump into paintings to go into levels.
Maybe just as an interjection, if I may, this is where we change from the classic map to a hub world.
Yes.
In this case, Peach's castle and the castle grounds.
Yes. And when I played the game on the DS when I was younger, I would stall all the time and just run through the castle, chase the rabbit, just for fun. There's a rabbit there there's 3 rabbits, I think, that you can chase around the castle grounds. The first time you catch them, you get a star, but I still sort them out all the time. I was so paranoid being in that castle on my own, because it's just you and Toad. There's nobody else there. And it was so eerie to me that nobody else was there, not a single person. It freaked me the fuck out. So yeah, I still played it more than one would think now from my retelling, because kids are weird. But like, I hate to say it, but I wasn't better now than I was then. I sucked at this because my spatial awareness, my brain is just not coping with anything in this game. Like,
I mean, like before we get to the actual stage in and of itself, because I remember I had, or like I was eagerly awaiting the release of the Nintendo 64 when I was little, and I remember playing Super Mario 64 at demo stations, of course, and there was a promotional VHS tape. We watched that till it broke, and so basically, me and my friend at the time, we weren't familiar with the idea of a hub world.
Right.
So we thought running around the castle grounds
Was the game. That's funny.
And, like, you picked it up. And again, this is a testament to great game design because, like, we had a jump from 2D to 3D.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, this, for me, couldn't have been a better introduction
to 3D?
To 3D gaming, because it basically, Super Mario 64 was the benchmark for 3D platforming from that point onward. Because, of course, has it been refined? Absolutely. But you had, for the very first time, you had a what would you call it? The joystick.
Yeah.
On this very very iconic three-pronged N64 controller. You had to learn how to properly grab it. And then, like, you could walk around, you could do acrobatic stunts with
Side
Mario.
jumps, cartwheels, basically.
All of the good stuff.
Triple jump.
He was incredibly agile, and wall jumps too.
Yeah.
And you just picked it up and sort of went with it.
Yeah.
Again, it was sort of self-explanatory. There were, of course, signs and things explaining things to you, but the thing is, again, you pick it up and you figure it out.
Right.
While you're
Normally,
also,
yes, I just was too paranoid.
Fair enough, but like
anxiety.
We're talking, bringing in a whole new dimension, and to say like, okay, we're now focusing on something else entirely, and again, we made it accessible, and I was actually blown away with it. But when it comes to the stage, Bob-omb's Battlefield, I mean, anxiety, yes, but overall, what do you think of the design?
I think it was, basically what they did in the stages is low-key open world, a little. Because
they give you an open playground, really.
Yeah, and they are not small. The levels are fairly huge. And there's quite a lot to explore in them, if you have the guts to do so. They don't feel empty, by no means.
They don't.
They're full of enemies, full of basically everything tries to kill you.
Full of interesting set pieces too.
Very, very, very nice. A very interesting and creative stage design as well, where they kept the platforming elements, even though it's not a side scroller anymore, which is all definitely to its benefit. The graphics, of course, are new, and they had to figure out how to do 3D animation, but I will not comment on that because that's unfair, because it's a testimony of its time. And as far as I'm aware, there's no major glitches in this one. So that's good. I think it's a very creative endeavor. And they definitely succeeded in marrying the old with the new.
Agreed, yes. I
still struggle with it.
That's fair. I mean, like...
and I struggle now as much as 20 years in between playing it, I'd say. I played it probably at 7 years old. Bit older. Say I played it at 12 years old. And now at 27 years old. And I feel like I struggle more.
That's fair. There's still a certain Let's Play channel that I still like to frequent. And the guys who run it, they're my age or even older by quite a bit.
Yeah.
And they say, like, okay, some of them say, okay, I never quite got the hang of 3D Marios.
No.
And the thing is, though, I enjoyed tremendously, especially the first level, again, so iconic. And the thing is, normally per level you've got 8 stars linked to different missions that you can play, and there's always a 9th star for collecting, I think, 100 coins.
And you need to collect the stars in order to unlock more doors, in order to unlock more levels. There's one endless staircase that you need to have a certain level of stars to get to the top, but you can access the staircase prior. You just never get to the top.
That blew my mind.
Looping,
that blew my mind.
That's some nightmare material right there, because it's just an empty hallway with brick walls and a red carpet laced staircase that just leads towards a portrait of Bowser, and you keep running it up, and you just never get there. Never get there.
I sort of enjoyed it because, I kept running up the staircase, and no matter how much I ran, you turned around and you were basically at the bottom of the stairs.
Everything in this game felt eerie to me. I didn't trust it. I don't know where the trust issues with this game come from, but I don't trust a single thing in this game.
And it's so interesting because I never experienced the castle as a hostile place. I mean, yes, it was empty. The only thing that was eerie to me when you went into the castle gardens, there were the ghosts.
Yeah.
And then, did you ever play the ghost house in there?
Don't think so.
Because that's,
Is that where Luigi's Mansion comes from originally then?
It looks a bit like it, but no.
I didn't even know there was one.
But the thing is, right, so you walk into the castle gardens, right? And there's those boos. And one of them has a carousel sort of thingy inside of him, and when you jump in there, you get to the ghost house, and there is where the trauma begins, because it's a proper ghost house.
I need to look this up because maybe I did, I just don't remember.
And the thing is, you walk through different rooms in that house, and you walk near a grand piano, and when you get too close to it, it starts biting at you. And this is what a lot of people I know who played this game were traumatized from, because they wouldn't go near a piano for years and years to come. At least a grand piano.
Oh wait, I think I think I do know this. Yes, this is also yes.
Not gonna happen.
No, this game is not getting a high score from me. No, it's not. It's not.
But this is the thing in terms of giving you so much to do, and when you enter one of those paintings, you.
But I find that principle scary already. Jumping into a painting and there's a whole world inside of it. I find that so scary.
I don't know. I always thought it fantastical. And then,
Maybe I just learned about the principle of a picture of Dorian Gray and it just traumatized me. I don't know.
Well, okay, but this is a bit abstract if you ask me to associate one with the other.
It's my brain.
But fair enough. When you enter the painting the first time, you get 1 star that tells you vaguely what to do.
Yeah.
And then you finish that, you get more stars. And the thing is, though... or you get more objectives, one by one.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you're not necessarily married to that objective, because you can find
whatever.
things earlier. Not always. Sometimes you have to pick that objective for it to appear.
Trigger the next one, yeah.
Because, if you pick one of the later stars in the very first stage, then you won't be able to find King Bob-omb on top of the hill.
Yes.
Because, you're when you pick his mission, you're specifically...
We played that because there was the only one that I remember that I could do, and that wouldn't
This is also the very first level's first mission. Yeah. So, of course, we did that.
Yeah.
But in terms of
variety...
variety...
And I still struggled massively.
Still, though, I mean,
the hitbox wasn't my friend. Again, spatial awareness.
Yeah.
I have none.
But in terms of, all the things they put into a single level, and I think the first one's exemplary for this, it's just a massive playground. Like we said, you can... It invites you to try things if you're so inclined, if you're not creeped out by the whole concept. But, okay, let's get down to
5.
brass knuckles. 5.
I'm scared of this.
You get out. I don't care if I'm re-traumatizing you.
Be lucky I'm giving it 5. Be happy I'm giving it 5.
For me, I think I've overplayed it over the years, especially since, I keep restarting the game and I never get to see the later stages again, some of which are vastly superior. I'd give it an 8. 8 out of 10, because I think, there's not gonna be that many low scores, I think, because it's Mario, generally speaking.
5.
High quality.
5.
5 from you?
5.
Fair enough. I'll cut that out later and I'll change it to something else.
How much are you giving it? I'm giving it 7 stars.
I'm giving it 7 stars. Okay. let's move
Moving
on.
on, yes.
This, again, is the only mainline Mario game for that console generation.
Right.
We're moving on to the Nintendo GameCube.
Yes.
If you ask me, a very aesthetically pleasing console. It looks cool.
It's a cube.
It's a cube.
It is what it says it is. It is a game.
But in terms of design, it just
Pick
looks
it up. It's a little
great.
cube. It's a
Yes,
little
but
cube.
it looks great. And the thing is, also, when we now played Super Mario Sunshine, which was the, only mainline Mario title for that console,
Yeah.
the graphics look great.
Oh, it looked great. It did.
And a lot
What
of
a jump from Super Mario 64.
absolutely, and a lot of those games from the GameCube era, we're talking from that entire console generation, not just exclusively to the GameCube. This is where the 3D graphics, I feel, started to become that good that some of those things still look semi-decent
Good
today.
Yeah.
Like, I played...
The water looked great.
The water looked great. I played Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube. Still looks great today. Of course, it aged. But it's not like we're like, oh, wow, this is unplayable. But yeah, Super Mario fucking Sunshine.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Was gonna say sunshine, more like nope shine.
And the thing is, at this point, I think even Nintendo
we just ignore it.
low-key dunked on it sometimes.
Yeah,
because
we just slip it under the carpet, step on it, leave it there.
I think even there was a press conference at some point where they announced, I think, Super Mario Galaxy. We'll get to that. But where they said this is going to be a very first proper mainline Mario game since Mario 64. Basically disavowing, to an extent, Super Mario Sunshine.
And it's so fair. You should just take that out of the canon.
Let's just say one thing. I admire
What happened there?
finally hitting puberty backwards. I admire. Wait for my Christmas album.
Sunday, 30 years younger. Yeah.
I'm 5 again. Oh no. I'm becoming Jerry Seinfeld. Get out of my office. I'm doing a horrible Jerry Seinfeld. But the thing is, I admire Nintendo for trying out new things, and boy did they try, and in my opinion, wasn't it fun.
Oh, God.
Yes, one could say, well, it gets a lot better once you get past the first level. Getting to the first bloody fucking
takes
level.
half an hour, I swear.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I respect the effort of, establishing a world, even having, except for Mario because he's still, a bumbling idiot. Have voice
Not
actors
so much bubbling, but yeah.
for Peach, for Toadsworth, and everyone.
It was fine. It was good. Also, the concept that they are on a plane flying to have a little island getaway resort. Have overhaul, mate. You deserved it. You earned it. You saved the
She's
Mushroom
a princess,
Kingdom.
of course she does.
Also, Mario
plane.
does. He saved the kingdom countless times. Now he earned himself a little vacation. All good. And don't get me wrong, it's not like we are not used to incredibly long intros from games these days. I mean, I'm just looking at you, Red Dead Redemption 2, # 5 hours or something.
Metal Gear Solid, every installment.
But this is a Mario. Relax. It's a Mario. We know the idea. Plumber saves princess from Big Lizard.
Well, this isn't happening here.
And the thing is, this is different. And I'm just... the main mechanic is you have a water pump.
Yes, you do.
That's it. The main mechanic is you have a high-pressure water clean pump thingy.
Yeah.
That you shoot water with.
It can also talk.
It can also talk.
And it
has a screw as an eye. It's very disturbing.
And it's from the same professor, Professor E. Gadd, who also made the Poltergust 3000, 5000, which Luigi uses in Luigi's Mansion, which is nice.
Sweet,
in terms
very
of
cute
a universe.
Trivia, great. The entire game is about washing away paint. And all that we've seen in the tutorial and the first game was the exact same enemy type 3 times, which was a piranha plant erupting from a pool of paint that I'm fairly sure is supposed to resemble oil, and good on them for making a comment on oil pollution on tropical islands, something that felt a lot like Hawaii. All good, all fine. Sure, Nintendo take a political stance. fuck oil companies, I'm there. Cool. Why is it 3 times just a big piranha plant erupting from paint?
I mean, yeah, exactly. The pacing sort of feels off. It's Power Wash Simulator, just not fun. And then
it's like a TikTok video, just not satisfying.
I don't know a single TikTok video
oh my
that's
god,
satisfying.
you need to watch like cleaning videos
I
from
don't.
like carpet cleaning.
I don't.
Oh, it's the best.
I used to be a carpet cleaner.
It's the best.
Why on earth would I watch carpet cleaning videos? I left the industry.
Because it's so satisfying.
Yeah, if you're looking at it, not if you're doing it.
No, I don't want to smell what they smell.
It's not the smells. You don't know the carpets I've seen. I've tried to clean. There was no carpet left.
Well, I'll show you videos later. You'll see.
You're
it's
not.
Always the Asian people cleaning it. It's great. It's so good.
Anywho, so like the pacing is off.
Yeah.
Before you get and we're talking, like the hub world establishment and all that. We don't consider this the first level. We're talking the actual fucking stage when you get to like fulfill objectives, and this is normally like getting stars.
The weirdest part was you have evil Mario, you have Shadow Mario, Paint Mario, whatever. I'm sure there's lore behind it. I don't care. And he runs and grabs Peach. And then your objective is to stop him with your water pump.
Yeah, to douse him.
First of all, whenever you douse him, he is stuck in his own paint. So what you're factually doing is you're washing away the paint so he can keep running. So effectively you're helping him. First of all. And then after you've done that 3 times, he runs away. And you're supposed to stop him. This entire time, he runs the same loop around the same plaza. Again and again and again till you get him.
And maybe
he could run everywhere. He is established already in this game that you can climb fences and jump on rooftops. Yet he runs the same course around the same house block.
And let me tell you this. At this point, I'm fairly concerned. And this same procedure of events, it just convinced me, like there is just kinky role play going on. Everybody's in on it.
1000%.
Because, like if you run the same, like round again and again so the guy can catch up to you, there's something going on here. If you get kidnapped for the umpteenth time, yes,
she's into it.
By the same guy, exactly. And not to victim shame you, but if you're actually getting kidnapped, I wouldn't want to own a gun, but I'm saying at this point, get a gun.
What I'm getting from this is that Mario's and Peach's relationship is in that way difficult sexually because they're both very different kings. So Peach very clearly wants to be dominated and want to be manhandled to some extent. Nothing wrong with that at all. No king shaming involved. And Mario's a cuck.
Nice.
That's all I'm getting from this. And thus they need a third party being involved. This is usually Bowser, but maybe they wanted to switch things up here.
I think exactly. I think Peach.
And you know what? It's all fine. We all find ways to handle our relationships.
Not fair, but I think in this installment, Peach wanted to show Mario, look, you can have a literally darker side of yourself. Why don't you show it to me? She did so in a not so subtle way. I don't know. Maybe it was Toadsworth who basically, created the whole bloody thing. But then you get
best wingman.
Then you get to the actual fucking level.
And again, it's pretty.
It looks great, but it's just not fun to play. It's not fun to play.
Oh my god, and the worst part, which made me the worst at this game out of all of the ones that we played, is that again, you have a freely rotating camera that you operate with right stick. It's inverted.
And not the way you think.
At least for me, it's inverted.
It's not up and down inverted.
No,
it's not
left
on
and
the
right.
y-axis. It's inverted
mirrored.
on the x-axis.
It's mirrored on the x-axis, or not mirrored. I don't know
Inverted.
Yeah, but in terms of I even forget how it is. So when I play it and I turn the stick to the right, I'm expecting the camera to go left.
It doesn't matter.
It
does the opposite of what you expect.
Entirely, and Christian could adapt.
Bullshit.
I could not. Bullshit. I could not.
At some point, I just accepted the fact that whenever I'm going to move the camera, in the first half second, I'm going to move it in the wrong direction, and then I'm going to adjust.
Yeah, and then he adjusted. I had to stand still and do 3 half rotations until I got where I needed to be.
And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure there's people who, like, have mastered the mechanics of the game, like when you stay in place to shoot the water, when you stay mobile and all that. But the thing is, I am a bit spoiled when it comes to Mario. As we've established before, in most Mario games, you pick up the controls, you get used to them really fucking quickly, and then you just play. And this never happened to me. And then I'm like, with a Mario,
it felt like a weird shooter.
With a Mario game, I'm not willing to give it like, or generally with
an
games,
adjustment period.
Generally with games when there's like, oh, you just play for the first 3 hours and then it becomes really fun. No, this is the same reason why I never started smoking, because like, oh, you just smoke it for a while and then you're going to like the taste. No, I first have to get through the fucking time when I don't like it. Why would I wait for the addiction to kick in?
This stopped me from playing Cyberpunk.
Well, yeah, but I haven't even touched it yet.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely, I agree. And like, I don't know, it's Mario with the water gun. And there's no other mechanic. You hover with the water by pointing the nozzle towards the ground. So yeah, high pressure, fair enough. You change the nozzle and then you shoot at the oil painting water plant thingy. Sure.
Well done.
We'll go with that. And then you occasionally jump into a body of water to fill up your tank. Maybe there is more mechanics introduced as we go along. No idea. But
exactly
nah,
that.
Mate,
I was so turned off. I didn't even want to find out.
No.
Like not like worse than in Mario 2, where I'd say like, okay, I had fun with the first level, but I don't necessarily want to go on. With Super Mario Sunshine, I wasn't even sure I was going to make it to the first level.
Sunshine reggae.
Don't you dare. And like, okay, rating, what do you say?
3. 3 because I like some of the graphics.
Yeah, it is a beautiful game.
Like, it's really beautiful. There's a little water slide at the beginning of the first level where you can run on and then you can throw yourself on your belly
great.
and you whee! Great, but there's nothing more than a 3 for me in this.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. 3 out of 10. Maybe, well, a few years ago they had a limited run of a collection of Mario games in HD then. Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy for the Switch. Maybe they adjusted the controls or something like that. Maybe plays a bit more, I don't know.
If they would already stop inverting the camera, I'd have a better time.
Either way, I don't see myself picking that up anytime soon.
Neither do I.
Right, so again, we're moving on a console generation to the Nintendo Wii, basically Nintendo's license for printing money.
Because we skipped the DS because we were more like TV consoles.
Yeah,
not
like
handheld ones.
For me, exactly, handheld consoles don't constitute mainline Mario games because, of course, we could have talked about, and we might do that in a later episode, on the original Game Boy Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land, the excellent Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins.
Yeah.
And all the handheld games, we stuck to classic home consoles.
Yes. So, we have the Wii.
Super Mario Galaxy. By God, is it glorious.
It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Like, I have 1 and 2, I think both, for the Wii myself. But I was 13 or 14, which I know is not an excuse, but I wasn't at all into video games other than my DS. Nothing else. On the Wii, I played Wii Sports, Mario Kart, that kind of games.
The good stuff.
And Super Mario Galaxy very scared me. So much that I can't even speak right now. Because, it was the same thing. I think it's just the trauma carrying over from 64. I was like, oh God, another 3-dimensional game. Not to speak of the fact that you are on little balls in space and you are upside down or sideways. Honestly, watching you play, because we took turns, motion sickness from watching you. My God. But now, playing it again, I had the best time. It was so fun.
Overall, I mean,
beautiful.
It has a fairly long intro period before you come to the first proper stage, so to speak. But there it doesn't bother me. Because first of all, the setting's amazing. I mean, it's okay, we start out in the Mushroom Kingdom. It's supposed to be a celebration. You get to run up to the castle, which sets the atmosphere. You know, everybody. It's a nice summer night.
So pretty.
It's incredible. And then, you know, of course, Bowser has some new powers.
But
and
I was so happy to see Bowser because we hadn't seen him in so long.
Exactly. So
I was so glad to see Bowser.
Bowser was back. He had this 3-titted UFO with
Quite
him.
literally.
Yeah, he stole the castle, including the ground. And
yeah, he just lasered it out of the ground
and then basically he blasted Mario into space without any protection, without any space gear, which only leads me to believe, with everything that happened so far in the Mario canon and what's going to happen in the future, Mario is immortal.
Absolutely. Mario's a celestial, for you Marvel heads. He lives in space. He's cool. He's an alien.
I'm pretty sure, you know, like Mario and Bowser, they're both like ends of the same spectrum.
See, that makes so much sense that Chris Pratt voiced him in the film, because Chris Pratt in the MCU is half celestial, so half space god.
I don't care what Chris Pratt is. He's just a Pratt.
Appreciate my joke.
Mario's
a celestial. There we go.
Well,
confirmed.
Well done. Yeah,
confirmed.
Exactly. Mario's now part of the MCU.
Confirmed.
Figure that one out. So I'll stop watching.
But yeah.
But the thing is, you know, like all of it. My God, is the soundtrack glorious, because it has this
so nice.
melancholy to it, set in
space vastness that makes it so existential.
Exactly. Set before the background of the universe itself. You have this mysterious figure of Rosalina, where there's fan theories that, you know, she's a time traveler, basically the child of Mario and Peach and all that.
Makes a lot of sense.
Exactly, because bit by bit she reads to the Lumas, those little star beings. She reads a children's book to them, basically more and more revealing her own story.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's sad. It's
so
bittersweet.
Atmospheric. It's so atmospheric. It's great.
Exactly. And then, you know, like all of this builds up until you get to enter the first proper stage, you know, or one of the galaxies, as they call it.
Good egg.
Yeah, good egg galaxy.
I find that so funny. It's a good egg.
And this is where you get to really get confronted with the new game mechanics, like little planetoids, physics, gravity, and motion sickness.
Honestly, but yeah, the motion sickness big time. But other than the motion sickness, this is flawless.
Yes, it really is.
The innovation in this game,
the art style,
the fun that they had with playing around with gravity, with the way the level design can change all of a sudden, it's insane. And the boss fight that we got to, because every world has the little boss at the end.
Yeah,
I love this.
Piranha.
It was basically Yoshi fucked a piranha plant, and
let's go on DeviantArt and you know, like, look that up. Why don't we?
But it's exactly what you expect, just in huge. And it's a huge piranha dino baby that has a tail with basically a wrecking ball at the very end. And the whole mechanic of this is it's on a tiny planet, it's a little ball, and you spin jump against the wrecking ball tail so that it flies up and hits the baby on the head. First cracking the egg that it's in still, and then hitting it twice, the classic Mario 3 times hit boss done thing. And it gets so mad and it chases you. It chases you around this ball, and you have to continuously run so that you get out of sight, and then you have to get behind it and throw the wrecking ball at its head again. And it's so fun.
It really is, and it had everything I wanted of this level. It showed you all the mechanics. You played around with physics, with gravity. Yes, it takes some getting used to the unusual perspectives, the change.
And watching someone play is tough. Playing yourself is a bit easier, like motion sickness wise.
But you know, like, I enjoyed the art style. It has all the good stuff. It has cutesy graphics. At the same time, it has scale. It has child abuse as a boss. It has all the good stuff. And so I'm
right at home, eh?
I mean, I'm joking, obviously, but
obviously,
you know, like,
joking.
And I remember when I first played it years and years ago, I got fairly far into the game, and it gets hard at some point.
We may actually properly play it.
We might make a playthrough of it
Yeah.
and then talk about it again at length.
Yeah.
But so far, I must say, and this is the thing again. There's going to be very.
This was the underdog for me.
Really?
In this entire thing, yeah. Because I had played it a little bit before and I remember not being good at it and being scared because it was so hard. And now this was the underdog coming of age great story for me.
Nah, for me, I was always certain it was going to be Sunshine. It's probably going to be the only one on the list that's going to get a low score, because this is Mario games. We're not talking the obscure ones. We're not talking Hotel Mario. We're not talking Mario Teaches Typing. We're not talking Mario's Time Machine and all that.
Yeah.
Which are all dubious titles. But like this is incredible. And again, Nintendo with a trusted IP trying out new things.
Yeah.
And this is also, while Nintendo arguably, I don't know how it is on the Switch, but after, let's say, or with the N64 basically left the hardcore gaming market. One can argue about this, of course.
Yeah.
But
more like casual gamers and kids.
Yeah, or family gaming and all that, depending on what you're looking for. But it still has its own IPs: Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Mario Kart, and all that good stuff. And you don't have it on any other console. So people return for that. Why? Because it's almost guaranteed when you get a new Mario game that you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
More than that. It's usually, a mainline Mario entry is usually an above average title.
I mean, let's be real. You think of Nintendo, the first thing you think of is Mario.
Mario is synonymous with gaming.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is, absolutely. Mario is the platformer.
Yes, the platformer in and of itself, and an absolute representation for me, people might disagree, for gaming. I mean, when the torch was passed on to Japan for what turned out to be the 2021 Olympics, Mario was present.
And that's fair.
And why? Because he's such a cultural icon.
He is around the world.
Round the world, recognizable, but especially representing Japan.
Yeah.
And we're talking the irony of this, because Mario
is Italian.
Is fucking Italian.
Yeah.
But why not?
Well, two jokes somewhere here, but let's not.
That's intercultural understanding. Good. More of that. Fine.
So
score, rating. Yeah.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
Easy.
Thinking, well, I never, while playing this, even remembering my older playthroughs, and I have to take this into consideration, I never fully could shake the motion sickness.
Okay.
But
I didn't have the issue when I played myself now.
But the game is so good that I'm willing to weather it. So I'm saying
9.5?
I'm saying 9 out of 10.
Yeah, fair.
9 out of 10. Basically, if you're not susceptible to motion sickness whatsoever, or if you can shake it fairly quickly, it's a perfect game.
Yeah.
It's one of the titles. If you have a Wii or have a chance to play it on a later console, get it. It's an absolute recommendation.
Yeah. Okay, we have 2 more to go to.
Exactly. Let's just make a quick addendum here. We do realize there's Super Mario Galaxy 2. I just don't have it. I was under the impression that I did, but I don't. Yeah. And it's a mainline Mario game, so sorry, we skipped that.
We did, but I feel like at least we did one, so we covered that part of the franchise.
Absolutely. So we're getting to the second to last, Super Mario 3D World.
Oh my god, this was so fun.
Basically, I think we have to bring this up. This was the mainline console, adaptation, release, whatever, successor to the before released Super Mario 3D Land for the 3DS. But still, though, on the Wii U, the short-lived Wii U, the very, dubious Wii U.
Yeah,
I had some good times on there.
But I think overall it has the same, what's the word I'm looking for? The same reputation as Windows 8 or something.
Well, I'm not sure. It's clearly
Windows Vista.
It's clearly a precursor to what,
the Switch. Yeah,
to what
they tried
will become
out
the Switch.
Yeah. The Switch is the optimized Wii U.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and so it came out, and I remember that I was in a store with my mum, and I was in my mid-20s at the time, and she's like, "Oh, look, a new Mario game." So yeah, I know. She's like, "You have a Wii U?" I said, "I do. Do you want that?" I said, "What? You're going to buy me a
That's so cute.
Yeah, I'm like,
that's so wholesome.
I was looking for something else entirely. I was going to buy, I think fucking hell, a landline phone for my flat.
Yeah.
And my mum's
very mature grown-up thing to do.
Exactly. My mum's about to
Do you
buy
want this video game?
And my mum's about to buy me a video game. Where was that side of my mother when I was 10?
But of course it was a Mario game.
It was a Mario game.
Of course it was a Mario game.
And my mum and I used to play a lot of Mario games together when I was little.
Mario's timeless.
He really is. Or he adapted with the times or whatever it is. But I remember taking that home, and when I had time to play it, I played it. And at first I didn't like it. I played a few levels. I was like, okay, this is interesting. The worlds don't feel so vast. It feels a bit more self-contained.
It feels a bit like a toy world where you have little levels that could also consist of like blocks that build it.
Exactly, and I put it away for a while, and I think half a year later, I'm like, okay, let's give this another try, and I loved it then.
Yeah.
I loved it. Well, we're back with a bit of story. The intro isn't nearly as long anymore as it used to be. We don't have a hub world as such. We have a map on which you can walk freely, but it's more reminiscent of a map like in Super Mario World or Super Mario Bros. 3, I think. What do you think? First level, Super Bell Hill.
I loved it. We have Cat Mario.
We've got Cat Mario.
Which is, I mean, let's not talk about
Mario's
persona being a cat. I think he would have been a scaly with Yoshi, but let's not go into that. But
the vernacular.
I loved it. I loved it was like this laid back jazzy sort of soundtrack that took every sort of stress out of it.
Absolutely.
It's just chilling. You're just chilling. Everything is accessible in the cat suit. You can climb the walls with your claws. You leave little claw marks as well. You leave little paw prints on the floor.
And everything exactly in combination with the soundtrack tells you just have a good time.
It's just chill.
Just have a good time.
It's the opposite of Mario 64, where everything is creeping me out. This is just have a good time, chill. And this you're not fighting that much. You're just more looking for where the star is.
I mean, we're exclusively talking about the first level.
Yeah, of course you're doing more fighting. Of course you have boss battles and everything. But like this is just like having a gander.
Yeah.
Climb up that tree. Get that block.
Enjoy the new mechanic.
Catch
find out
that bunny. Honestly, I could have played this the entire evening.
Yes, this is one of those games. I mean, you're going to pick it up for the Switch, you said?
I will, definitely.
Because they re-released
the second we finish recording, I'm going to buy it.
Because they re-released it together with Bowser's Fury. Great port, I think. And there's just something about this, exactly, this little, what would you call it? This little, almost a bit artificial looking art style, you know? Yeah. It feels, every level feels self-contained. Mm-hmm. It feels like you're not being thrown into a vast world, but, you know, like, something that's prepared for you, that you're going to enjoy for a bit.
Feels like a model world.
Exactly, and we just you know, like this is one of those games, or I think the first Mario game where you can, or you know, mainline Mario game where you can play up to 4 people together at the same time.
Yeah, you can have Mario, Yoshi, Toad, and Peach together.
No, Mario, Luigi.
That's what I mean. Sorry. Yeah, and, the other green character.
And when you play 4 players simultaneously, is utter pandemonium. Mm-hmm. But you know, like. It is an incredibly enjoyable game. And if we're just talking about the first level here, the way the new mechanics are introduced, the way, you know, like you get to see the what would you call it, the giant mushroom that allows you to try to access new parts of the level. It introduces you, okay, you've got 3 stars per level. You can collect them all at once if you find them.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's something very pleasant about it. And I played through the game.
Very wholesome.
I played through the game, and even the levels where you like those lava stages, or even Bowser's Battleship and stuff like that. Even there, you're like, yeah, I know this is a potentially threatening situation, but still, it's like there's nothing where just I feel stressed in a way that's no longer comfortable. I'm still like, this is still this little self-contained thingy where I'm going to have a good yet challenging time at times, and I was so surprised how my experience differed from when I first picked it up to when I picked it up half a year later. And now every time I pick it up again and I start a new game, I'm happy from the moment I start the first level.
It's like an escape, getaway, holiday.
It really is. It's like, especially the first level, because it is so
cute,
gentle.
Yes, gentle is the perfect word.
In how it basically just like, these are the new mechanics. Look around here. Look. There's a lot of vertical gameplay.
Yeah.
See how you like it.
It's like
find
the equivalent
out.
to a warm hug.
Exactly. It's also the first. I think maybe it was on the 3DS, but we're not counting that here. But it's also the first game. If you fail too much at a level, you're going to get the white Tanuki suit. You're basically invincible.
There.
Yeah, you can still fall
You're
to your death.
You're struggling here. Have a good time still.
We know you're too stupid for a game that's comparatively easy.
Is okay.
That's fine. It's for everyone. Go on then.
Yeah.
But overall speaking, I don't think there's too much to be said for the very first level. Later on, they introduce even more interesting mechanics that are very pleasant. They introduce Plessy and all that. Oh. They introduce the multiplier cherry and all of those, which makes for a lot of fun moments in game. But as a first level, I think if you want to play a first level in a Mario game that also is great, just to relax, that's the one for you.
I think I haven't seen enough of the game to give it a flat out 10 out of 10, just because it's just the first level and then we turned it off pretty much immediately. So I'm gonna go for 9 out of 10, just Fair. Because I do not have a grasp of what the rest of the game is like, but what I've seen was great.
Yeah, maybe because I played it so many times, or it's pleasant as all hell. To me, it feels a bit too easy, but I appreciate it for anyone who's playing it for the first time, unless of course they're very seasoned and say like, no, I want
very combat driven and
exactly, and I want a challenge from the very first moment. But I'd say for me it's an 8 out of 10.
Fair.
It's a great game. It really is. Again, from the very first level to when you play on later, so much memorable tracks as well in terms of soundtrack. You'll be humming it all day. Great game.
Yeah.
So now we're moving on to the last game on our list, which is the last mainline Mario game, I'd say, out at the moment. We're moving on to the Switch. It's Super Mario Odyssey.
Odyssey, yes. Odyssey is massive.
It really is.
Very much adjacent and correct to its title. And somehow it is completely new. Somehow it feels like Galaxy's older brother. If you ask me. The story is fairly intricate, even though it seems simple at first. Bowser wants to marry Peach. Mario's like, no. Done. Mario gets defeated at the beginning of the game, though, by Bowser.
His hat gets destroyed.
His hat gets destroyed. And he ends up in some random world where there's magic hats, and one of them is like, Bowser got my sister, you want your girlfriend, or your special one, whatever they call him.
No, special one is in Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, but still. Let's team up. And then we team up with a magic hat. That gives us a whole bunch of new mechanics. First of all, Mario can throw it, and it turns, and it kills enemies and unlocks items because it interacts with them. But it also allows Mario to enter beings that it is on the head of. You can throw your head at the T-Rex, and then Mario's in the T-Rex, and you play as the T-Rex. Which is insane. Everybody who saw the trailer for this game knows this, because that scene is in there as a main selling point.
Doesn't he even have a little moustache?
He does have a little moustache. Every character he enters has a little moustache.
And maybe we should also say, this again has a fairly long introduction tutorial phase, which is the hat world, so to speak, so we didn't count that.
No.
It's also in terms of style, because it's a lot of black and white and all that. It looks amazing.
It looks fantastic.
And what we considered the very first stage, because this is where you start collecting those power moons.
Cascade world.
It's Cascade
Kingdom. Cascade Kingdom.
Thank you. Those fossil falls where you have prehistoric times.
Yeah, I love it. It's a dinosaur level. I love dinosaurs.
You've got the T-Rex. And
but honestly, it's great because it has too many innovations in every world to even start to mention here. I think the biggest one would be that it has little 8-bit areas where you suddenly play 8-bit games in this 3-dimensional high graphics for the Switch game.
Normally when you enter into a pipe, and there's a wall section, all of a sudden you're 8-bit again.
Yeah, it's flat, 2-dimensional.
Exactly, you can traverse that section to get to another section in the 3D world.
There's also the enemies, there's 8-bit Goombas and everything. It allows for creative problem solving in a way, because how you use the hat, and if you jump or use the hat or what you do, it's up to you somewhat.
The game, I think, it looks stunning. It
Looks
really looks
stunning.
stunning. However, not just later worlds do the same, but also when you come to Cascade Kingdom, surprisingly, because you're out of the Mushroom Kingdom, you're out of Hat World or whatever you want to call it, you get to
Cap Kingdom, I think it's called.
something like that. You get to Cascade Kingdom. In a way, even though it looks stunning, we're much less in a stylized environment. It looks way more realistic than what we're normally used to from a Mario, because
it really does.
there's fossils, there's trees, like
The T-Rex looks nearly photorealistic.
Absolutely. And it's just like, this is an odd choice, because I remember a bit of controversy before the game came out when they introduced you to the fact that Mario will be interacting with human-looking people.
Yeah.
Begging the question, okay, what is Mario then?
I remember one of my favorite podcasts, they did an episode where they are like basically asking the question, posing the questions, what implication does this game have?
Exactly.
And they end up in a discussion about how the mafia in New York City is actually run by toads or something.
You might get that.
It's funny. But yeah, and it's also fun because what I noticed now, because I've never finished the game. Funny thing is, I played it up to the New York world.
Mm-hmm.
Not being called New York, but let's be real, it is New York. And then I thought the game was basically over, because it's like, oh my god, you gotta get to City Hall or something to stop the wedding, and this was the one that it was advertised with so much, and I had seen all the other advertisement bits, and then I now googled something about it, and I see I'm only halfway through. So I can't continue playing, because I stopped playing it because I was like, oh no, I finished this too quickly. But it's funny now playing it again, is that when I realized I got through the tutorial areas, the tutorial animations are pictures. It's not text, it's not anything. It's real hands holding the Joy-Cons, the controllers, doing the things. And that would have looked odd in any other installment on any other console. But here, it somehow doesn't. Which speaks for the mixture of the graphics in terms of gunning towards photorealistic sometimes, somewhat. Still being very much animated on the other hand, and that being sort of married more and more. It's interesting, and it works. If you ask me, it works. Like nothing in the style of the game, for me at least, for me personally, is off-putting. None of it.
Absolutely. I mean, at least as far as we played, I didn't actually question the change in graphics up until I don't know, a certain point where I was like, well, this. I think when the T-Rex was introduced, this looks great. This looks like a T-Rex out of Jurassic Park, for example. And it's not glaring in a way, because first you have those very more like Mario feeling kind of worlds with the Mushroom Kingdom and the Cap Kingdom, or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And you traverse into this, and basically, what I'll say, even though we only traversed the first, I don't know, New Kingdom, and I watched years ago an entire Let's Play of the whole game.
Yeah.
Odyssey is aptly named because it feels like a journey from the outset. Like you're really traveling something. Later on, when you get this sort of airship, the Odyssey, it feels even more so, because they read about every kingdom they're going to travel to. They can get souvenirs.
And it has this urgency behind it, because whenever you land in a new world, in a new kingdom, you have to collect a certain amount of moons to travel to the next one. And that amount varies. And that gives you an idea of how vast the world is. And I will say, I think this game has an insane replayability score, because there's so much in each world, in each level, to explore, to find, that I think you can, even if you explore everything, you don't remember.
To me, it's a spiritual successor in a way to the first true spiritual successor to Super Mario 64. It feels the most like that. I know you have...
No, I agree. It's that not scary because the world is not dead.
Of course, you know, like when you collect a power moon, that doesn't mean the level ends, you know, like, and you have to start again. No, you can keep going. But in terms of the playground, it opens up to you because like Super Mario 3D World was, okay, you're going to traverse a level. You're going to go towards an end, a definitive flagpole.
Yeah.
And along the way, you can collect stars because, you know, like at a certain point on the map, you're going to need a certain amount of stars to continue.
Yeah.
To continue. And here it feels more like, okay, you have to, just like in Super Mario 64, you also have to collect a certain amount of power moons in this case in order to, you know, like unlock the next stage of the game.
Yeah.
But you do so more freely, and it felt to me more like the playgrounds I was used to from Super Mario 64. And this to me was incredible to see this evolution of something that blew my mind when I was around, I don't know, 9 or 10 years old when Super Mario 64 came out, when I got a Nintendo 64. So I don't have a Switch myself. I'm going to buy one fairly soon.
Yeah.
I want to before, you know.
I think Nintendo drops the next console soon, next year or this year even. At least I think it's going to be announced end of this year. So the Switch is going to go down in price.
Either way, I'm going. I think it might be maybe next month if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of titles I'd like to try out on the Switch.
Yeah, and a lot of things are ported. Switch is a great console. Honestly, Nintendo full home run with the Switch.
Absolutely, and especially again with their own IPs, so much I want to try out. Again, Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, all of that. But we talked about this earlier, system sellers. And Mario Odyssey is a system seller for me.
For sure.
Where I'm just like, hey, if I only play one game on there...
I think for the Switch, the system sellers were Breath of the Wild.
Obviously, yeah.
Pokemon Sword.
Probably.
When it came out, because it had the great graphics, for me, way better than Violet and Scarlet. And this, and that's the three main Nintendo properties, you know, Pokemon, Zelda, and Mario. And each of them had massive game releases on this console, and Odyssey does not need to hide behind either.
Not at all. And the thing is, this is something very interesting when it comes to, especially Mario, when it comes to Nintendo IPs, because it does something rather extraordinary. Even, let's say you're a kid, and you're a parent, you want to buy your kids a game. Mario is a good idea in terms of it's kid-friendly.
Yeah.
They can get started with those games, and at the same time it manages to, even in my opinion, you can pick it up as a long time fan.
Yeah.
And I do remember when
in
years and years ago I was still on Instagram, James McAvoy actually posted on Super Mario Odyssey where he's like, I didn't pick up a Mario game in so long, but I picked up Super Mario Odyssey, never looked so good, and he's having a great time.
That makes all the sense to me.
And this is just it, you know, like in terms of, you know, how most of the mainline Mario games for me worked. Okay, you could return to it if you knew Mario, or, you know, like if you wanted to, you know, like experience Mario for the first time, you can start with most any installment.
Yeah.
Of the mainline series, which we're talking about here right now, except for fucking Sunshine. Go fuck yourself.
Fuck Sunshine.
Yeah, honestly. Or, you know, like, you might be put off if you play 2.
Stick it where the sun don't shine.
No.
Oh.
But, you know, like, you might be put off by Super Mario Bros. 2, not because it's a bad game, but
because,
you know, like,
it's so different from everything
else.
And
if you play it as a first game and then you go to another
think
Mario
that's it,
game,
and then you go to the others, and you're like, why aren't they like this?
And I think you'll adapt rather quickly to the other installments, where it's like, okay, this is great in and of itself, even though I expected something else. But
Scores for Odyssey.
Yes, absolutely. What do you say?
Honestly, I think it needs a perfect score from me, because I think it's so incredibly telling that I thought I had played the game too far and then stopped playing because I didn't want to finish it. Mm-hmm. Now realizing I was only halfway through, but that was my thought process. Oh no, it's about to end. I don't want it to end. Stops playing. And I think that's incredibly telling. So 10 out of 10 for me.
Fair enough.
Also because I think it has a lot of personality. I think Mario has a lot of personality in this, which he usually doesn't. The hat has a ton of personality, which is really fun. So yeah.
Overall speaking, before I come to my score, exactly that. I think with as little actual dialogue as the character, as the main protagonists have, they manage to give them. They always have personality, but they flash them out so much more.
Yeah.
I feel
without putting too much stress on it and making it feel weird.
Exactly, and like I know how the game ends.
Yeah.
And by God, they address the elephant in the room that's over 35 years old at this point. Peach gets some fucking agency at the end of it.
Yeah.
We're not going to spoil it because I think if you have the chance to play it, please do.
Play it.
Because for me, in terms of just like taking the tutorial on the first level, for me it's an 8 out of 10.
Right.
This has a bit to do with the fact that I know a bit what comes later, and those are the kingdoms that interest me a bit more.
Fair.
But in terms of like accessibility, art style, level design, and all
Pacing.
that, the overall
Great.
just likability of the whole bloody thing,
Yeah.
it's incredible. And this is something that Nintendo's managed to do time and time and time again, seeking innovation without losing, for the most part, what made the series great to begin with.
Yeah.
And this is, I don't know if there's any announcement for a new Mario game. I don't know. I think there were talks of...
There will be. No way they won't do it.
Obviously, but like in terms of, is there going to be an Odyssey 2, like with Galaxy 2?
Probably. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. I only know that they're talking about the next Pokemon game already. None of the other installments I'm too aware of right now, but yeah. Definitely. If they release a new console, there will be a new Mario.
Absolutely, has to be. Really has to be. I mean, like, if rumors are to be believed, at least the rumor state I'm on, is that the Switch 2, or whatever they're going to call it, and this is simply a rumor, this might just be someone making it up, it's going to be a graphics powerhouse.
I've heard a similar thing, but again, just rumors on the internet.
It's just rumors, and it's not like Nintendo the way I know it, to have this as a main focus.
No. So let's see what they do. Other than that, I think it's always interesting to keep an eye on Nintendo's own IPs. Yeah.
Nintendo is not a company that can't...
fun and wholesome and
nice.
But
again, Nintendo's not a company that can't be criticized. They've done a lot of shady shit in the past.
Yeah.
But in terms of what, like the IPs, like especially Mario, means to the people, and the way
how iconic it is,
and I feel with how much respect and care it is treated by its developers, that speaks volumes.
For sure.
I'm very excited for what comes up next. I think these are our recommendations, our scores.
Absolutely. This was a little timeline Mario deep dive.
Mm-hmm. I think we had a good time this afternoon, evening.
This was so fun. I really enjoyed it. I could play most of the games. I could keep playing. It's great to, just appreciate them in this order as well, and see where the development also over game design went throughout the years. It's great. It was really fun. Really fun.
Maybe we got some of you, like interested in trying out or returning to some of the Mario titles. If not...
Me, for sure.
Yeah. If no one else is listening, we'll be playing Mario.
I'm gonna buy a new game as we speak. Let's go.
But other than that, I think that does it from all of us here.
I agree.
Right then, you guys have a good night, and we'll hear you next time.
Woohoo!